Diriyan ay mga biyan sa natabo bala kahapon. Okay, ara update pamati mga provincial officials sa mga tourism stakeholders, no? Municipal officials of Manay, may update kita sa rayang ginapropose nga Boracay Island Development Authority or BIDA. Okay? Kahapon, mga kabiyanan, okay, kahapon gintalakay na Congress, mga biyan, particularly House Committee, no? Galing committee ba tuloy? Na? Gintalakay na House Committee on Privatization and Enterprises, no? Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization joined with Committee on Local Government.
Todo Latigo. Latigo.
Ang rayang mga proposed House bills with different versions coming from congressmen nga nag-submit sa ilang mga proposal, that includes mga biyan ang House Bill version ni Congressman Carlito Marquez, House Bill nga version naman nga council alin kay Congressman Ted Aresco. But prior to that, last February, nagsabit man sa Congressman Paulo Duterte, Congressman Eric Yap, may mga congresswoman pagid. Nakaabot ni Mabian, more or less, mga siyam kabilog ang House Bills. So, inita na nakakonsolidate sa duwa ka mga komitiba at House of Representatives.
Tagapagtaguyod ng katotohanan, Jonathan Cabrera, komentaristang walang kinikilingan.
Okay. Sige. So, i-check natin ang portion mga kabilan. Okay lang, Bob? Okay lang. Okay lang. Okay, sige. Ari mga biyan ang portion sang kwan kapo, no? Ginpatigayon nga first joint committee hearing via Zoom. Mga biyan. Okay, wherein si Congressman Ted Aresco nangin kaparte sa hearing, mga kabiyanan, but si Congressman Marquez wala ma-invite si Congressman Marquez.
Todo Latigo.
Okay. Ano natabo, dali lang mga biyanara, matiyan na to ng kapahin sa pagtalakay kahapon. House joint committees. Hanot, partner?
This joint hearing, and we would like to express his manifestation on the proposed BIDA bill. Is Kongted around?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, yes, I am here.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay. Lang kay medyo may mga porsyon abi kahapon nga kwanay, no? Nga naga-utod-utod agwan taon talak iti mo gina, no? Kung internet ang kwan ang ginaagihan sa ginahimo nga meeting. Ara na, partner? Wag yapon, pulo forward lang gamay.
Latigo. Latigo.
Address in for Congress to have a BIDA for my district. In behalf of the undefeated Governor Joven Miraflores, and in behalf of our local party, where 83% won in the second and first district of Baclad, Mr. Chairman, I would like to manifest that it is in the Constitution and the Local Government Code that genuine and meaningful local autonomy should be a policy of the state, and that meaningful consultations be undertaken with the provincial, municipal, and local governments, Mr. Chairman. And also, as a backgrounder, I laud the sentiments of my esteemed colleagues about Boracay. We are like school children being admonished. I would like to give you a background that it was in 2004 when the Department of Tourism and TIESA handed over to Ayala, Boracay Water, the responsibility of undertaking several siltation projects for Boracay, and they failed to invest in the 860 million that they promised the national government. So it was a finger-pointing exercise for the past 12 years until such time that Boracay became a cesspool, as the president said. So when the governor and I admonished Ayala and some hotel owners, ang sinabi po sa amin ay meron kaming 30 law firms in our payroll, and you are welcome to charge us. So wala po kami magawa. So we most welcome what the president did for Boracay and closing Boracay and all of that, Mr. Chairman. And as an authority, we hope that the associations, the NGOs, the elected officials are also consulted regarding the Boracay Island Development Authority, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Tetaresco. Please extend my regards to the Governor, Governor Miraflores.
Thank you, General. Thank you. Thank you.
I personally have met the Governor once.
Yes, he wanted to join us, but we had an emergency in Aklan. We had an outbreak of COVID in our hospital laboratory, and nabigla po. And ayun lang po ang sinasabi ng akin pinsan, na kung pwede po makonsulta naman sila regarding the development, because it is like a Japanese adage na everybody is responsible but nobody is responsible. And during that time when we tried to find a solution, wala po kami magawa. Mabuti na lang we have a very decisive president na inayos po ang Boracay, and ay sana po doon po tayo mag-consultation sa Boracay. Bukas na po ang Boracay sa turismo, and we have had a superior fight against COVID. Halos wala po kaming COVID sa Boracay and most parts of Aklan. Maraming salamat, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Tetaresco. And from here...
Yes, by the way, Chairman, my bill, Boracay Island Development Council, will be was also filed last year towards that end, that there should be an authority, and nalimutan lang po siguro ng Rules Committee na ipasok po ang bill ko sa establishing the Boracay Development Council. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Aresco. From here, I would like to take Enterprises to take over this meeting. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Noel. Are there any comments, suggestions?
Dali lang partner, paki-post mo na. Post na. Okay, sige. Ano ko lang, no? Post mo na eh. Okay. Anong tawag na? explain ko lang gamay ang hinambal ni Congressman Ted Aresco, no? Bali, according kay Congressman Ted Aresco sa aton nga second district Itaklan, nag-manifest siya sa committee, no? Nga kung pwede nga mag-conduct sang ginatawag nga public hearings. Diba? Consultation. No? Mutamalon nga si Congressman Aresco on behalf of the leaders, no, sa aton nga probinsya Itaklan kag stakeholders and the local government units concerned manifested that the public consultation should be conducted, no? Yun lang inihiling ng mga local officials and stakeholders. Mag-conduct ng consultation. Pakinggan kung ano yung mga agam-agam at mga proposal, no, nga magahalin sa aton nga mga stakeholders and local officials from Aklan. So muna ang manifestation ni Congressman Ted Aresco kag according kay Congressman Ted, ang iyang ginsubmit nga House Bill nga proposing man for the creation of the Boracay Island Development Council, or Boracay Island Council, no? Kundi pareho man lang actually na, no? Ginsubmit niya na last year. Pero wala ma-include sa mga ginakaptan nga copy Committee on Enterprises and Privatization joint with the Committee on Local Government. But Congressman Aresco he was invited mga kabyanan sa hearing kahapon because they knew that he's a congressman from Aklan. And ang Boracay Island under sa nga distrito, that's why tama ka-importante mga kabyanan nga si Congressman Aresco was there during the online session kahapon, mga byan. Okay. Kag na-manifest niya, no, ang pagkandak sang consultation. Amo nang ginambal ko sang nagligad nga ang aton nga mga congressman sa Aklan hindi man ni magsugot nga imuon lang ang legislation sa House of Representatives nga hindi nila pag-i-insist ang interest protection sang aton iyang local governments and stakeholders, lalong-lalo na sa ginatawag nga consultation. Okay? So formally Congressman Aresco manifested mga kabyanan, no, nga magkandak anita consultation di samon, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, ambal ni Congressman Ted Aresco. So pamatian ta ang kasugpon mga kabyanan sa hearing, anong reaksyon kag ano man iyang posisyon sa iban pa nga mga departamento, anong posisyon makaron sang NEDA, anong posisyon karon at DILG. Now because we are talking here of development authority and local government nga maapektuhan sa pag-create sang development authority. Okay? So padayon unta mga biyan ang pagpamati sa hearing nga natabo kahapon nga adlaw. Pamati ka mo ha. Laka lang ang mga nakamonitor kara kahapon.
Todo Latigo. Latigo.
Importante na. Apektado kita kanan kara. Okay, padayon.
Any representative from the DNR?
DNR.
Go ahead, Tom.
Mr. Chair, we are from the Ecosystems Research Development Bureau. We would like to express our support to the creation of BIDA and considering that the creation of a body to promote and accelerate the sustainable development and balanced growth of the Boracay Island is also one of DNR's priority legislative measures. We support the enactment of the PSC. Now, with this, Your Honor, we would like to recommend that the natural limits of the Boracay Island, such as its carrying capacity, geohazards, and critical habitat based on DNR studies, be taken into consideration by the authority. Now, Your Honor, we have a concern with Section 15 of the House bills, and this refers to the research and development division of the authority. Now, we do not object to the mention of POSP, but we are of the belief that PRDD, being the principal research arm of the DENR, we also be vested also with the research coordination lead, and especially if the intention is to have VIDA as an attached agency of our department. But nonetheless, we look forward to assist in the implementation of the authority's research and development actions. That's all, Your Honor. Thank you for the opportunity to express our support to the
Okay.
House.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sige ko siya, kausapin.
Attorney Lim, please submit your position paper to the committee. Any comments
Dali lang.
coming from the members? With regard
Comment.
to
Okay, dali lang ha. Ikuan ko lang kaya medyo malabo to, partner. Okay, katudong buboy. Bali, ginambal to ni Attorney Lee from DENR that DENR is in support, no? Ginasuportihan nila ang creation sang BIDA, pero daw may concern lang sila, no, with regards naman to we do not know kung ano abi ang ginatamdan nga proposed bill, but may section 15 nga ginambal tong taga DENR nga daw kuan sila, no, nga aman nga DOST kuno ang magiging attached agency, particularly or hindi ko man gani maintindihan actually kung ano to gina-recommend nila or contest nila, but in general the DENR is in support, no, to the proposed creation of the Boracay Island Development Authority. Okay, sige. Padayon, partner. Ano pa?
Mentioned by
Sige pa.
Attorney Lim from the DNR.
Mm.
There's none. Let's move on. Representative from the DOST. We have ASEC Lito Bueno.
DOST.
Department of Tourism, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members
Morning,
of the
Department of
committee.
Tourism.
As manifested earlier, the Department of Tourism fully supports and interposes no objection to the creation of the BIDA, as this will really ensure the sustainable development of our country's premier tourist destination. Thank you, Mr.
very much,
Chair.
ASEC. Please submit your position paper
Yes,
to
the written.
yes, the written position paper.
Mm.
Representative from the DOST.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, but I also would like to reiterate the inclusion of the Department of Science and Technology as one of the members of the Board of Advisors. As I've mentioned earlier, because we have a lot of research initiatives which were deployed in the island, and the DOST is one of the agencies that took part in the rehabilitation and in the crafting of the medium-term action plan for Boracay. And aside from that, we also participated in the focus group discussions that documented and assessed the problems related to pollution prevention and control in Boracay. And with that, to safeguard the environmental integrity of Boracay's renowned beaches and waters, the DOST supports for the creation of the proposed Boracay Island Development Authority, but with the consolidation of our comments with the other concerned stakeholders and the consolidation of the House bills. And there are also provisions in the House bill pertaining to capitalization. And I would like to, or we would like to recommend that this should be supported by a line item budget or work financial plan for monitoring and auditing purposes. And also the inclusion of the local government unit at a barangay level in the composition of the board of directors. So I think that's all for us. We will just submit our comments per bill, per House bill po.
Thank you very much. Any comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Haresco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will leave in a while, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Coming from Boracay, Mr. Chair, I would like to cite the local government code provision. It is likewise the policy of the state to require all national agencies and offices to conduct consultations with appropriate local government units, non-governmental and people's organizations before any project or program is implemented in the respective jurisdictions. Mr. Chair, in one of the proposed BIDA bills, there is a provision that says that 5% of the what is contributed by my district to GDP should be going to the Boracay Island Development Authority. And for the past 3 years, Mr. Chair, my district has contributed some 59 billion pesos to GDP. So parang nilalagay may premium o may royalty yung bida po sa trabaho, sa blood, sweat, and tears ng mga taga Boracay. Hindi naman po namin kasalanan na binaboy ng Ayala yung kanilang kontrata with the CHESA or DOT. Hindi naman namin kasalanan na ang dating DNR ay yung kanilang pagsampol ng water ay according to what their private sector would tell them to do. So nagkakagulo, Mr. Chair, because nagkagulo yung Boracay because of figure pointing. And again, Mr. Chair, sana ma-consider ninyo yung consultations with the provincial, municipal, and local officials, our boatmen association, our vendors, our TODA, our transports, at saka lahat ng involved sa Boracay, Mr. Chair. Especially the medium, the small, the micro, small and medium hotels na wala man lang say na bigla na lang magkaroon ng layer ng bida as if kami yun responsible. Hindi naman kami yun responsible sa kaguluhan ng hindi nabantayan ng CHESA na ang kontrata ng Ayala. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. I will leave now, Mr. Chair. Ay sana ma-consolidate ang TWG and sana the committees will provide opportunity and time to all the various non-governmental, governmental units so that we can come out with what is good for the national treasure that we call Boracay. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Congressman Haresco. Those suggestions are heavily taken into consideration. Representative from the GOCC, Attorney Biona. Are you with us?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair. Likewise, for the GCG, we have already drafted our consolidated comments on the subject House Bill creating the BIDA. At the moment, it's undergoing the signature process, but rest assured that we will be submitting our official comments within the day. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? How about coming from the local government officials from in the Boracay Island, from Aklan? Are there any local officials who would like to say something about the House bills?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
The ILG.
Yeah, from the ILG, USEC RJ Echeverry. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This level would like to note that a previous position addressed to Representative Elpidio F. Barzaga, Chairperson Committee on Natural Resources, has been rendered with respect to the creation of Boracay Island Development Authority, subject to up to which here to attach for reference. With respect to the Boracay Island Development Authority, again, the department interposes no objection as to the creation of such, and thus applaud the initiatives of our members of the House of Representatives. pursuant to Section 16 of Article 2 thereof, which provides Section 16, the state shall protect and advance the right of the people to a balanced and healthful ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. In relation thereto, Section 15, Article 2 of the same Constitution provides that the state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. Thus, we further would want to again interject the value of the autonomy of the local government of creating such a commission or development authority, more so that this administration has put premium in the rehabilitation of Boracay and would want to pursue that further. With that, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusek RJ Echeverry. Please submit your position paper to the committee. Any other comments from our resource persons?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
may I be recognized?
Yes, you are recognized.
Yeah, this is Director Bernardino of the DNR.
Go
who is
ahead.
now, I'm designated General Manager of the Boracay Interagency Rehabilitation Management Group that is based in Boracay. Sir,
You have the floor.
In behalf of the Boracay Interagency Task Force, we do not oppose the bill. In fact, we're fully supportive of the BIDA bill. And the task force has already forwarded a copy of the version of its bill to the Committee on Natural Resources. The main content of the proposed bill by the task force is it's not a GOCC, but it's a regulatory authority in order to recognize the local authority of the LGU. So it's not superimposing its authority on the LGU. The LGU will still retain its taxing authority for one. So that's the version of the bill of the BIATF, which we will be willing to submit to you as well, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Tom Bernardino. Please submit your position paper to the committee. Any other comments from our resource persons with regard to the? Yeah, from NEDA. Go ahead.
NEDA.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and
Good afternoon.
members of the committee. NEDA submitted its official position paper signed by Acting Secretary Chua to the committee last August 13, 2020. Let me just, with the indulgence of the chair, I will go over some of the salient contents of our comments.
Go ahead.
First, on the need to clarify the arrangement between the proposed BIDA and the local government units, the municipality of Malay and the 3 barangays in the island, citing the provisions previously mentioned by Honorable Congressman Haresco on the LGC, that it's the policy of the state to conduct consultation with the LGUs. So we suggest, Mr. Chair, that the HB, or if ever it is consolidated, there should be specific provisions that will indicate the arrangement between the municipality of Malay and the 3 barangays in the island. And there's also our comment regarding the proposed functions of BIDA. Our suggestion is to focus the functions on the specific issues that led to the degradation of the environment and not have an all-encompassing mandate. We suggest that the BIDA focused on wastewater management, sewerage system management, solid waste collection, and solid waste management disposal. There are also various bills that proposes that NEDA be part of as vice chairperson of the board. Our position here is to maintain the current setup of the Boracay Interagency Task Force with the DILG as the agency mandated to have oversight on agencies, as the vice chair, remain as the vice chair of the proposed board. Also, there are various bills, several bills that says the submission of quarterly and annual reports to NEDA, we suggest doing away with this provision since this is not really part of the policy and administrative oversight of our agency, Mr. Chair. This what I have just said is included in the position paper we submitted to the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. De Leon from NEDA. Any other representatives? Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, you have the floor.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, may I ask NEDA? So yung comment nila is, although they have suggestions, but they are generally supportive of the measure?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, Honorable Congressman, we are supportive.
Yep. May I ask now, Mr. Chair, because there are this committee, this joint committee, is currently handling or have passed and approved several development authority bills. So may I ask now, and most of the time, NEDA and even DBM is not supportive, are not supportive of said measures creating development authorities. So may I know from NEDA what is the difference with Boracay and the other development authorities that were discussed or that were previously approved by these joint committees?
Mr. Chair, I would have to, I'm not familiar with the other authorities. I'm not familiar even with the previous bills on Siargao and the upcoming discussion on Manila. I'm not really familiar with those other bills, but I was specifically sent to deliver our comments on Boracay. Maybe we can, I can probably look into other previous submissions, and as requested, we will provide also comments on the other measures, proposed measures, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, kasi I was just surprised that even in the previous Congress and this 18th Congress, parang standard reply ng NEDA is against the creation of development authorities. So that's why I was surprised na for Boracay, they're generally supportive, of course, with some amendments. And precisely, I wanted to ask them, and siguro NEDA can just submit in writing yung mga ibang chair, yung mga na-approve po nating previous development authorities. How come there's a difference now? Whereas I know Boracay is Boracay, and this is a big project of the President, our national government. Pero kung titignan naman ho natin, karamihan ng yung mga development authority bills, meron po talagang tina-target na problema na nire-resolve. That's why we're proposing to create a development authority. The scale might be different, the focus might be different, pero it's more or less the same concept or the same innovation yung gusto natin mangyari na magkaroon ng development authority, shared resource, coordinated to solve a particular problem. So yeah, I would appreciate it, Mr. Chair, if NEDA can now maybe update our committees for their comments in previous development authorities and what led them to not be supportive of those development authorities. Whereas dito sa Boracay, they're very supportive. Kasi Mr. Chair, mahalaga rin po to later on as our bills go through second, third reading, pagpunta ko sa Senate, I'm sure their position will be more or less the same. So malaking tulong po to kung mabibigyan tayo ng dagdag na informasyon kung bakit may pagkakaiba sa kanila pong comments. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. De Leon from NEDA, can you say something about the concern of Congressman Joet Garcia?
Yes, Chair, we take up the suggestions. Now, we will look into the other comments of NEDA on proposed development authorities.
And one final comment, Mr. Chair, baka maganda rin kasi, di ba, ang Boracay, as we all mentioned, may problema. That's why the President has come in through DNR to fix this problem. I think marami dun sa mga development authorities na na-propose din previously. Hindi pa naman siya problema, pero potentially pwede ho magka-problema. That's why we're proposing the creation of development authority. So, kung po pwede rin po Mr. Chair, baka pwede tignan ng NEDA yung yung cost to government for the inaction or yung kakulangan pagdating sa resources ng iba't ibang government offices, which may lead to problems moving forward. So kasi baka ang ginagawa lang ng NEDA is as a general point of view, meron ng mga offices na dyan ng LGU concerned with all those planning and development. So why create another development authority? So baka maganda makatulong ho sa atin, Mr. Chair, and sa mga authors ng mga nag-file ng similar bills in their jurisdiction, for NEDA to come up also kung hindi magka-create ng development authority and then magkakaroon ng problema itong mga areas dahil nga walang development authority. What is the cost to government? Siguro yun ho yung magandang maging batayan. So, hindi lang yung cost to government of creating a development authority, pero kung walang development authority and nagkaroon ng problema doon sa certain locality or certain area na nagpo-propose po ng development authority, ano naman yung magiging cost to government? As I mentioned earlier, for Boracay, if we did this siguro 20 years ago and hindi po nagkaroon ng problema ang Boracay, ang laki siguro nung natipid ng gobyerno and baka mas malaki pa ngayon ang Boracay. In terms of tourist and economic contribution to our country. So baka maganda yung mga numbers din mag-pencil pushing po ang NEDA para po meron tayong basis with the several bills that we have passed. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Any other concerns from our resource persons, from our members? There was a concern mentioned by Congressman Haresco with regard to having public hearings for with regard to these consolidated bills. So what is the stand of the authors of the House bills creating the Boracay Island Development Authority? Because it was mentioned by Congressman Haresco that there should be public hearings in various stakeholders in Boracay to be able to, for them to be heard in relation to the provisions stated in the bills creating the Boracay Island Development Authority. What is the stand of the members, the authors of the bills?
Chairman?
Go ahead, Congresswoman Choi.
Chairman, I would agree to that because he would know better. He's the congressman of Bora.
Okay.
I would agree.
Bora.
How about other members?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would agree to that also, given that syempre mahalaga po yung opinion ng stakeholders, especially people from Boracay. And lalo na, Mr. Chair, malapit na po yung election, no? 2022 is just around the corner. Napakahalaga po na malinaw sa mga taga Boracay kung ano po yung purpose at ano po yung mangyayari with the creation of a development authority.
Tama.
About other members? About comments from the other members?
For me, Mr. Chair, I also agree with the commentators.
Okay, so if this is the consensus of the authors of the consolidated bill, so any motion for the because we cannot approve these consolidated bills unless there's a public hearing coming from the stakeholders of the Boracay. So any motion?
Correct.
To that effect?
I move to create TWG for all the Boracay bills, Boracay Development Authority bills, so that we can conduct a public hearing, listen to the stakeholders from the island of Boracay.
Okay.
I so move,
second?
Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay, so House Bill 6214, 6285, 7249, 7256, 7280, 7294, 7313, 7360 are hereby moved for the creation of the technical working group in order to consolidate the said bills and also to have public hearings to for the stakeholders of the Boracay Island to be heard. So, any second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so thank you very much. Congressman Noel.
Linong talakayan, masarap pakinggan. 88.5 Radyo Todo Aklan, ang bagong radyo ng bayan.
So there you are mga biyan ang kabahin no ginhimo nga joint committee hearing kahapon dahil wala ka mga committee ba no, Committee on Enterprises and Privatization and Committee on Local Government. Why gani makaintra ang Committee on Natural Resources kay may iban nga mga House bills nga didto gin-refer sa Committee on Natural Resources, particularly ang proposal nga naghalin sa Boracay Interagency Task Force.
Tagapagtaguyod ng katotohanan, Jonathan Cabrera, komentaristang walang kinikilingan.
But at least mga abyan, klaro nga ang mga departments, agencies concerned, no? It national government halin sa DENR pakadto sa DILG, DOT, DOST, GCG, NEDA. Mga biyan, tanan nga mga nag-alatento, even gani ang NEDA nga permi ko nun nagakontra kung may gina-create nga development authority, but this time naga-support mga biyan. So tanan in favor nga i-create ang Boracay Island Development Authority.
Tagapagtanggol ng mamamayan, Jonathan Cabrera, komentaristang walang kinikilingan.
Okay? And ang importante kag reiterate and mayadman kay si Congressman Tederesco, makapila niya ginbalik ang pag-emphasize kag sang iya nga manifestation nga dapat mag-conduct gid sang public hearing. In fact, may mga tira to si Congressman Aresco nya hindi naman namin kasalanan kung binaboy ng Ayala at ang kanilang kontrata sa Chiesa. Ayala, Boracay Island Water Company, BIWC, binaboy nyo raw ang Chiesa na kontrata nyo. Wala. Okay? Hindi naman namin kasalanan kung binaboy din nung nakaraang mga DENR at pinabayaan ang Boracay. Ituod man na, no? Ang mga DENR sang nagligad, mga kabiyanan nga administrasyon, why man nila gina-impose, no? Mga kabiyanan ang mga environmental laws religiously. Okay. Well, of course, may kakulangan man ang local government. No? May ginambal to si Congressman Aresco, I like it. Nga, it is everybody's responsibility, but nobody took the responsibility. Tama ba, Kong?
Latigo.
So, basta na-emphasize ito mga abiyan. And ang chairman, nalipat ko kung ano pangalan sa chairman sa committee nga ito kayo na, kay duwa ka congressman. Finally, move, mga kabiyanan, that, number 1, iga-create ang technical working group. Okay? Number 2, mag-conduct sang public hearing or consultations. Nan. Now, kung magambal mga kabyanan nga mag-conduct sang consultation, ano nga klase, ano nga mode of consultations? Amo nang pamangkot sa iban. Ano na idol, makadto di ang mga technical working group and some congressmen kung may araman magtuba sa Aklan, makadto sa Boracay, ma-hearing physically maadto sa isa ka resort or convention center or whatever venue And mga kadtuda kag mamati may mga nagapungko dabi sa presidential table tapos may mga nagapalibot. Nung pareho bala sa common public hearing nga ginhimo. Wherein ang mga tao publiko makadtuda representatives from different sectors, non-government organizations or local governments para nga Mr. Chairman, sir, may recognize mintra ko amo niyo base may marali-rali pa bla mga biyan or ang hearing himuon lang nga kapareho man nga naka-online Zoom conference hearing. Okay, we will hear from the Boracay Foundation, we will hear from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, we will hear the position of the local government of Malay, the position of the provincial government, or the representative from the labor sector, representative from the cooperatives, the transport sector, and so on and so forth. Mga kabyanan. Hindi pa na natin mabalaan as of this time, of course. No? But tomorrow, we will try mga biyan nga maka-interview si Congressman Ted Haresco. Very good si palakpakan na si Congressman Haresco. No? Siyempre, naigi niya balik niya kagagining pasay niya matakandak na public consultation. Sa aton paway man ang problema, suportahan tanang creation sang bida. Pero hindi naton pag isnabon ang sentiment sa mga pumuluyo. Mamatian taman sila. Bal ni Congressman Narisco, di man namon sila. Nagkonforme ito isa ka congresswoman niya, tsakto na. Kung may ara man niya nga congressman nga makahambal kung ano ang nagakadapat kag ikaayo sa iya mga pumuloyo, amo ang congressman sa lokalidad, sa iya distrito. Okay? Now, ang pamangkot isa, nga man si Congressman Marquez wala to. Kag naga-monitor makaron si Congressman Marquez sa aton program. Latigo. Okay. Why kasayod si Congressman Marquez? Nga may committee hearing, wala man siya maimbitahan, agway man siya makapamati kahapon. Mayad lang gani kay subong, nagapamati siya sa aton, at least nasayra niya kung ano ang mga ginistoryahan. Pero dapat ginibitahan man imaw, no? Anyway, first hearing pa lang man to, may masunod pa man nga hearing, mga kabyanan, although actually ang iban man nga mga sponsors ang mga bills, why man ganito, why man to si Congressman Paulo Duterte, why man to si Congressman Eric Yap. Now, mga kabyanan, Congressman sino pa gani? Namo pa? Mabia, no? So why man gani nalikay tiya kay Congressman Marquez, siyempre congressman man siya sa Aklan mo, first district. I don't know. Pamangkoton talang siya hinaga man kung makachimpo mga biyan nga maabot na siya, no? Latigo. But I think medyo happy maniguro si Congressman Marquez. Why? And of course, ang mga stakeholders and local governments nato niya sa Aklan, because nabatian ninyo to nga may magakatabo nga public consultation na mga kompleto bala mga kabyanan, kaya mo ning ginareklamo ng iban atong position paper nga kontrabida nga way man gani siyang may nagpirma, amo man ang inahambal niya, nagpropose lang sang bill way gid magkandak sang public consultation. So lango-lango man ang nag-ubra sa to. Kung naga-propose ka pa lang, wala ka pa na iya nagakandak sa consultation. Ang committee nga amo iyang magatuon sa imo nga gin-propose, amo na ang makandak sa consultation. That's why subong amo na may magakatabo na nga consultation. Proposal pa lang tumo. Amo man na sa local government of Malay, mo man ang wakal sa mga konsyales niya, nag-propose lang sila sang bill to sa Congress. Why ginanay sila nagpulo pamangkot ni nang konsulta sa aton? Nanigulang nakamuda sa konseho, ay pa kamo kaintindi sang insakto nga proseso. Araw may konsultasyon na magakatabo, proposal pa lang gani, di ba? Bisan sa SP si Vice Governor gid gani. Latigo. sangguniang panlalawigan, san unyo pa ubrahon da ang inyong resolusyon. That will serve as your position paper. A certified urgent ni Governor Joven Miraflores na way ninyo ginaaksyonan. Paano karon kon magpatawag na sang konsultasyon sa inyo? Why ka mo position paper? Kay why ka mo na resolusyon? Kay naguntat ka mo sa pag-legislate sang resolution of support nga ginapangayo ni Congressman Carlito Marquez, which was certified urgent by the governor. Daw ginabaliwala nyo ang ginapangayo ni Governor Joven Miraflores nga certified urgent Kag si Governor Joven man, daway niya man ginasukot ang sangguniang panlalawigan, no? Ngaman blang. Latigo. Di ba? Pero si Congressman Carlito Marquez, dapat sukto niya si Governor, kaya nagkwan si Gobo. Hambal nga don't worry pareha. I-certified urgent na naling para dasig. Way man.
Latigo.